Thursday, after being taken from Calne by taxi to Melksham, we picked up the coach for our holiday. We started by going via the M4 and M5, stopping at Worcester. The coach was parked right by the river and we had 1.5 hours free time. We spent it by walking along the river, admiring the model penguins which were decorated by various clubs and schools. They had even invaded the shopping arcade. We arrived at our destination hotel, the Park Royal, at about 5 p.m. with plenty of time to settle in our rooms and get ready for the evening meal. Friday was spent visiting the Bury Transport Museum, which was sited in an old engine shed and filled with different modes of transport. There were also several displays specifically for children. It was then time to go to the railway station for a trip on a steam train to Warrington store. So that is where all our old cases go to rest. I wish I knew what that girl on the other platform, dressed as a flapper, was doing, being photographed. Here comes the train gleaming in the sunshine. Water tank has to be refilled. This carriage interior reminds me of when I travelled to school by steam train back in the 1950s. The banks of the railway cuttings were covered in Himalayan balsam, which is an invasive weed and should be eradicated. But I must admit it looked very pretty. This was one of the stations we stopped at on the way to Warrington store. The engine then has to go to the other end for the return journey. We arrived at Warrington store where we were picked up by the coach for the return to Bury. Here we were dropped off right outside Bury Market, which is one of the biggest in the country. Having walked through the market, we found the main shopping centre. I thought Ann Summers had ceased trading quite a while ago. The children were enjoying themselves in these plastic bubbles in the water. On returning to the hotel, we asked Kim, one of the owners of the coach, if we could see her amazing kitchen situated at the back. Very impressive it was. She has kept us supplied with hot and cold drinks, also snacks when required. Saturday, our mode of transport was a canal trip. First we had time to call in at Barton Grange Garden Centre for a coffee and to admire the plants etc. on sale. One would have to have a rather large garden for some of the exhibits. Did you note the archway consisting of flower pots? As advertised, we were booked in to have a fish and chip cruise along the Lancaster Canal. Walking along the towpath of the canal looks a very pleasant way to pass the time. Sunday was the highlight of the holiday, the Anderton boat lift and a tour of the famous Concorde airplane. We first had a trip along the River Weaver to Northwich with a first-class talk by a very knowledgeable guide. There were quite a few anglers along the river bank. I wonder how many fish they caught. This building is said to be reminiscent of the boat lift. We were lucky to just catch a glimpse of a steam-powered boat. The boat lift is just coming into view. It was very difficult to get a full picture of it as it is so big. We first sailed into a caisson where the water was sealed in so that we could be raised up to the higher level. Our guide explained the history and workings of the lift.
Both sides going up or both sides going down because they've got their own counterweights. So once he converted one side, they cut off the ramp and just let the ramp sink into the floor. And once that side was working, they then converted the other side.
We eventually arrived at the top of the lift where we sailed out onto the Trent and Mersey Canal where we disembarked ready to pick up the coach again. It was then time to go to Manchester Airport and the runway visitors park, where we had time to watch the planes taking off and landing before going to see one of the two Concordes left in the country. We were treated to a visit of the flight deck, but unable to take any video. I tried to take video of the outside of the plane, but it is so much bigger than I thought. A few pictures of the families enjoying a day out watching the planes with a commentary in the background.
Landing is EasyJet A320. It's an older production. Actually, you can also tell it's a relatively old aircraft.
Monday we came home, but not before visiting the National Memorial Arboretum. We were booked in to have a 45-minute land train ride around the park. Again, the commentary was very informative, and I did my best at taking shots of the various gardens.
Forms part of the memorial. Behind it is a red granite memorial honouring the skill and dedication of firefighters past, present and future.
A large block of Dartmoor granite honours the Royal Marine.
The body of the life-sized horse is tank-like and incorporates tow holds, wheel arches, rear lights and smoke canisters, along with everyday items, including the beloved boiling vessel that provided the crew with hot water for tea and cooking.
Of the Royal Air Force Association, with its Eagle and Globe badge. The Eagle, with 1,000 handcrafted stainless steel feathers, sits in the centre of the Royal Air Force roundel, symbolically showing its place at the heart of the Air Force family.
Commissioned by the British Transport Pensioners Association, it features a Class 8F locomotive carved from matte black granite. Commemorates all pupils of the school, known as Dukies, who gave their lives
on top of the stone plinth with a paratrooper below it. This 5-metre tall bronze statue is a depiction of Bellerophon astride Pegasus, spear in hand, and a paratrooper pulling his equipment up the mount. Stone obelisk with Essex flints around the base, reflecting the regiment's home and campaigns in Egypt. The iconic bronze Salamanca eagle, overlaid with gold leaf, sits on top of the obelisk.
Their workers. The obelisk formally recognises that they too gave their lives in service of their country, while the carousel horse is a universally recognisable symbol.
It was Royal Army Nursing Corps in 9. The memorial was relocated here from the barracks in Chichester. The name, Foxy, is derived from Corporal Fox, the model for the statue.
Has built this in Iraq in their own time as a memorial to all the coalition force members who lost their lives in the two conflicts there.
At 11 a.m. on November the 11th, a shaft of light shines through an opening and illuminates the centre plinth. Within the memorial, there are several bronze sculptures that depict loss and sacrifice.
After having a coffee, we had time to walk around some of the gardens and take some more videos of the exhibits. This colourful memorial of the naval services is my favourite. One would need at least a day to see the entire site, and perhaps even more. It was so nice to see everything was being looked after so well. That was the end of our holiday as we climbed on the coach for the last time. Well done, Nigel and Kim.